House of Cards is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
You're listening to House of Cards.
Today, the game is different.
I want to gamble. Gambling is a very serious business. Is that clear?
Welcome to House of Cards. Dave Weishaupt with you, deep from the swamps of Jersey. We've got a great show coming up for you. You know, esports has been all over the news lately, and casinos are starting to take notice. Our guest coming up is an expert in esports. He is Ari Fox from Fox Marketing and the creator of the Casino Esports Conference, which has partnered up with Clarion Gaming and is now part of the ICE North America Conference being held in Boston, Massachusetts, May 13th to the 15th. We're going to hear all about esports and the impact it's going to have in our near future. So stick around. We'll be right back with House of Cards.
Yeah, you, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore.
Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here.
Use offer code SPICE404.
They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
I wanna hold them like they do in Texas, please. A little gambling is fun when you're with me, I love it. Russian roulette is not the same without a gun. And baby, when it's love, if it's not rough, it isn't fun. But oh, I'll get him hot, show him what I've got. Oh, I'll get him hot, show him what I've got. Can't read my, no he can't read my poker face. She's got to love nobody. Can't read my, no he can't read my poker face. She's got to love nobody. Pop, 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 poker face, pop, pop, poker face. Ma, pop, 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 poker face. Guys, pop, poker face. Guys, ma. Look, I really think it's time for us to do something. This is all getting way out of hand. What do you mean? The song is sweet.
You're listening to House of Cards.
where was the house? Where was the House of Cards?
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishaupt with you. One of the hottest trends in gaming and casinos nowadays is esports, and our next guest is at the forefront of this exploding market. He is Ari Fox. Ari is an executive with Fox Marketing and the creator of the Casino Esports Conference, which is now working with Clarion Gaming to bring this amazing esports experience to ICE North America, being held in Boston, Massachusetts, May 13th to the 15th. Ari, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it very much. Thank you so much.
Ari, it feels like I just talked to you, but you've been on our show before. But refresh our listeners about yourself and about your background. What is Fox Marketing? Who's involved with it? And what does it do in the field of esports?
Well, Fox Marketing has been around for the last over 20 years. We started in, of all things, the busing industry, and developed software and promoted that as far as we could technologically. We designed a ticketing software program, which we ended up then working with the Tropicana to have complimentary bus tickets, and so we started there. We also were involved in advertising many years ago, and then about 10 years ago, we started looking into esports and video gaming as an option, and we saw right away that there was a connection between the two industries, and how those industries would collide with one another.
Now, you run the Casino Esports Conference, and I got to tell you, it's an incredible source of information and marketing tools for those interested in esports. How did you get involved with Clarion Gaming, which is an amazing group, and ICE North America? And will you be doing more events with Clarion Gaming?
Well, we got involved with Clarion Gaming about almost a year and a half ago. We were already into our second CEC, or Casino Esports Conference, out in Las Vegas, and Clarion in 2017 was also looking at the same space and the collision of the two industries. And we thought it would be vital that we bring it to the marketplace and open it to the industries. And Clarion saw my brother and myself as very, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but very talented guys that, really get the collision and the colliding of those two industries and where the pieces all fit. And so the answers and the vision of, not only what we know as esports, and that involvement of that community connecting to the casino community is just the tip of the iceberg of what we're really looking at. I mean, we're going to be expanding the CEC over the next few years to include everything that is an all-inclusive experience for millennials and Gen Zers. That pretty much will be very sci-fi, tech-driven, augmented reality kinds of things, and virtual reality kinds of things that really can bring people back, or the younger people back, time and again, so that they have this really incredible experience. And Clarion got involved with us because they came to our event last year. They saw the potential, and we're trying to grow that with them. So they, utilizing our expertise, they also, as part of our partnership, we've been inserted with all our educational tracks into all of their ICE events worldwide. So the International Casino Expo, which is held now, one is going to be in Boston in the next few weeks, and then we're having another one in Amsterdam, which is IGB Live, and then another one in Africa in October, and then we'll be back in London in February. But the CEC is getting involved in all of that. The CEC is also main event is the September 4th and 5th, so after Labor Day weekend in Las Vegas. So we're very busy guys, really just trying to bring esports and technology to the casino world so that we are ready and prepared for the next generation of people to come and visit the doors online and also in the brick and mortar.
We'll be right back with more House of Cards right after this quick break. House of Cards is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with Drizzly.com.
You're listening to House of Cards. Check out our website at houseofcardsradio.com.
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishaupt with you. For those of you just joining us, I am talking with Ari Fox, the creator of the Casino Esports Conference, which has teamed up with Clarion Gaming as part of the ICE North America Conference, being held in Boston, Massachusetts, May 13th to the 15th. When you first saw esports, what made you think, wow, this is such a viable property for casinos, we need to get involved in it? What is there something special about esports that you saw in its adaptation to casinos?
Well, casinos, it's an indoor activity. Let's start right there. And so is esports. That's also an indoor activity. But it's almost as if there's always traditional sports like baseball, football, etc. And you couldn't bring any of those into a building, to have that, to have a competition in a skill-based way. And very skill-based. So it basically lends itself to copying what is actually out there in esports that's happening as a professional esport on the esport level. It lends itself to having these events inside the casinos themselves because they have the facility, both online and also in brick and mortar. So they have all the facilities they need. They have a lot of the audiovisual stuff, and it's a great experience, I think, for people in esports to not only come to a casino and play there, but also the fans that come and watch the tournaments. Everything's there: hotels, food, and a lot of the extracurricular stuff, pools, nightclubs, other things. So it's all part of this bigger picture that's evolving from esports. But esports is sort of, like I said, the tip of the iceberg. It's just the beginning of I call it the incarnation of the new casino, or integrated resort as it's called now.
Esports really seems to be growing in popularity. I know amazing things are happening in Europe and Asia. But with regard to esports in the United States, lay out the scene of what's happening in the U.S., in the United States.
Well, we know that the Kraft family bought an Overwatch team, and I think there's an Overwatch team in L.A., or is it League of Legends? I'm not sure, one of them. But I think it's Overwatch. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Overwatch. So there's this expansion of the people who make those games, publishers, to promote it on that professional level. And what we don't see, because we're in a different world, sort of, is that these players that play have fan bases that follow them. And esport players, just like any other athletes, have people who watch them on Twitch, and sometimes, get a chance to play with them live sometimes as like a promotional kind of thing. But there's a whole sort of sub community that still exists, but it's getting more and more mainstream. I mean, it is mainstream. We're talking about it every day. Esports is being talked about every day. And I would say it is mainstream because a lot of the actual professional sports as we know it, the traditional guys, like the Mavericks bought a team. Like I said, the Kraft family bought a team. The team in trying to think of the basketball team that also bought a team. And NRG is the name of the esports group that bought San Francisco. It's the Shock. They're called the Shock.
Okay, yeah.
But they're owned by the same guy who owns the basketball team, Andy Miller. I just can't. I can't think of the basketball team. Can you imagine that? I can't think of the actual mainstream basketball, but I know the esports team. That's how mainstream esports is.
I gotta tell you, I'm sitting here in New Jersey, and one of the big esports stories was right across the river in Philadelphia. They're going to build this massive arena just for esports.
Yes, that's also happening. So a lot of the cities are getting involved. Washington D.C. They're building a stadium for the Philadelphia Fusion. They're doing things in Austin, Texas. They have a huge esport arena, I think, for the Outlaws. That was a team that the Mavericks own. So there's a lot of this government getting involved in esports because that attracts more people from outside. Just like, when you have a baseball stadium and you have a visiting team, the fans from the visiting team come. I mean, how often do you have where the Baltimore Orioles are playing the Yankees and then all the Yankee players or all the Yankee fans come down to Camden, down to that park down there, and they occupy Baltimore and they spend money and they stay at the hotels and that's all part of the idea behind why these cities are now getting involved as well.
Let me ask you something. The big story in the gambling world this year was sports betting. How do you see sports betting fitting into esports? Is it something that I know a lot of leagues are saying sports betting is a way for its fans to engage with the games being played in front of them? Should esports adopt that kind of attitude, or how does esports should figure into the betting world?
Well, esports is already being bet on. It's just right now it's in the shadows. It's offshore, places like Malta, Isle of Man, and these places are taking bets for esports. I think, from what I was told, about $2 billion was wagered on esports last year, and the sports. As the sports community, what's happened with that is that they have the sports community is bringing other betting that's been offshore into out of the shadows and into the light. That's going to eventually happen to esports too. It's going to really go down the same track. But right now, esports isn't at the level where it's getting there. There are people, and there's a lot of issues with it, which is why it has to go from the dark to the light, because there's a lot of problems with underage betting in esports, and that's a problem that the casino world can help in that way. So there is a meeting of the minds in what the esport industry needs and what the casino industry needs. I mean, we've got to remember the esports industry, as much as it's talked about in the last 10 years, is grown almost too fast for its ability to keep up with itself. So it's about investment. It's about a lot of people that are getting involved, and it's a problem because it has to be addressed at some point, which it will be. Betting on sports offshore was also a problem when it was offshore, and that's going to have to also be addressed as well. It is being addressed, but I mean it's something that actually took its time to get there, but now it's there. I think it'll happen to esports as well.
Hold that thought, and we'll be right back with more House of Cards right after this quick break. When it comes to online sports betting, PlaySugarHouse.com offers players one of the best experiences in the state of New Jersey. PlaySugarHouse.com offers millions of betting options on the sports you love. They offer live in-game betting on sporting events worldwide, moneyline bets, point spreads, prop bets, play-by-play bets, and many more. All at PlaySugarHouse.com, your new home for sports betting in New Jersey. Take advantage of one of their 12 easy deposit methods to get in on all the action. And now when you sign up at PlaySugarHouse.com using our promo code HOUSE, they'll match your first deposit up to $250. More bets, better odds at PlaySugarHouse.com. Sign up today at PlaySugarHouse.com and don't forget to use our promo code HOUSE to take advantage of their first deposit match up to $250. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Ever wonder how a generation of millennials made millions with an iPhone just by following their passions? How some went from living in their parents' basements to becoming more famous than movie stars? For decades, there were technologies, companies, products, and market conditions all paving the way for today's social media infrastructure. The new film Influencer takes you on a journey to meet some of these people and technologies while exploring the mind and the day-to-day lives of social media influencers. Get an inside look into the world of social media influencers and the impact they have. Go on a journey inside the digital revolution. Check out Influencer today. Now available for a limited time only. Head on over to influencerfilms.com for a private screening of Influencer, an inside look at the digital revolution. That's influencerfilms.com for a private screening of Influencer, an inside look at the digital revolution. Now available for a limited time only. Following their hugely successful sports betting event, ICE Sports Betting USA, Clarion Gaming has launched ICE North America, the benchmark event for industry learning and development in the North American gaming market. This one-of-a-kind conference brings together the industries of sports betting, iGaming, affiliate marketing, iLottery, and esports from across the entire region, and it's all happening May 13th to the 15th in Boston, Massachusetts. If you're a decision maker or a supplier in the gaming industry, this is one event you cannot miss. Expert panels, networking events. There's even an Investors Day where investors and executives gather to explore investment opportunities. This is the home of interactive gaming and you need to be in attendance. ICE North America, May 13th to the 15th in Boston, Massachusetts. Join the MVPs and register today at IceNorthAmerica.com. Brought to you by Clarion Gaming. For more information, go to IceNorthAmerica.com. New Jersey's online gambling market is loaded with so many different sites and all kinds of promotions, it's enough to make your head spin like the reels on an old-time Atlantic City slot machine. So how do you make sense of all that information floating out there in cyberspace? Well, you don't have to. That's because the folks at NJOnlineGambling.com have done all of that for you. NJOnlineGambling.com is your complete resource for all the online sites in New Jersey. Which games have the biggest jackpots? NJOnlineGambling.com has the answer. Which sites use PayPal for deposits? NJOnlineGambling.com has the answer. NJOnlineGambling.com is the most trusted guide to the New Jersey online gambling market. Industry news, site reviews, the latest slots, table games, poker, they got it all in one spot. It's the ultimate resource for online players in New Jersey. They even got the best sign-up offers, better than some of the ones being offered by the online casinos themselves. Look, they say bet with your head. So why not do the same before you bet? And check out NJOnlineGambling.com, the most trusted resource around for New Jersey's online gambling market. House of Cards is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to Drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with Drizzly.com. When it comes to online sports betting, PlaySugarHouse.com offers players one of the best experiences in the state of New Jersey. They offer live in-game betting on sporting events worldwide, moneyline bets, point spreads, prop bets, play-by-play bets, and many more. All at PlaySugarHouse.com, your new home for sports betting in New Jersey. Take advantage of one of their 12 easy deposit methods to get in on all the action. And now when you sign up at PlaySugarHouse.com using our promo code HOUSE, they'll match your first deposit up to $250. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Hey, this is Dave Weishuttle from House of Cards with your House of Cards gaming report for the week of May 6, 2019. The Supreme Court of Pennsylvania has struck down a state-created fund which made high-performing casinos pay a disproportionate tax to subsidize lower-performing casinos. The Casino Marketing and Capital Development Account placed a 0.5% tax on slot machines and paid lower-performing casinos first from those funds. The state did not pay any funds as of this date due to the start of the court case. Gaming regulators in New Jersey are determining if 9 casinos in Atlantic City are enough. The regulators are trying to determine if the market has reached a saturation point and whether to limit the amount of gaming licenses they will issue. In an announcement last week, the New Jersey government stated they will retain oversight of the city's casino industry until the year 2021. And finally, a bizarre boxing match was held between comedian Kevin Hart and World Series of Poker bracelet winner Antonio Esfandiari. Since Hart has prior boxing experience, Esfandiari had been given 35-1 odds. Not only did Esfandiari survive the match, but he won the decision. It was not revealed how much money was involved with the bet. I guess that's why they call him the Magician. Have any news or tips regarding casinos, gaming, or legislation? Send us an email at newsroom@houseofcardsradio.com and follow us on Twitter at HOC Radio. Something exciting is happening in New Jersey. People are cheering in Cherry Hill and cashing in chips, pumping fists in Fort Lee and flopping full houses. Get the thrill and play on your laptop, tablet, or mobile at BorgataPoker.com. Real money anywhere in New Jersey. The Borgata Hotel and Casino is a name you can trust, so you can be sure that BorgataPoker.com is secure. And now with a $25 deposit, you can get a $20 bonus when you sign up for Borgata Poker at HouseOfCardsRadio.com. Remember, you must be at least 21 and physically present in New Jersey to play. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You're listening to the House of Cards.
Well, don't take it too hard. I've done a lot of stupid things in my life, too.
Stupid? What do you mean, stupid?
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishuttle with you here. For those of you just joining us, I am talking with Ari Fox, the creator of the Casino Esports Conference, which has teamed up with Clarion Gaming as part of the ICE North America Conference, being held in Boston, Massachusetts, May 13th to the 15th. You know, one of the more interesting things about esports, and we had a couple guests on our show that were involved with esports with college teams, and I know there was just a Boardwalk, in Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City, there was a college esports event there. How important is it for esports industry to get involved with the colleges and the universities and to compete at that level?
For the casinos to get involved with that?
Yeah.
Well, obviously the casinos probably wouldn't go near it because it's underage. But betting on it is something else. I think the same problem exists for college esports as it exists for mainstream sports in college. I mean, there was lots of talk at the betting on the Boca event, SBC, this sports betting community that had in Meadowlands last week. There was talk about how do you protect the integrity of college football, basketball, etc. When they're not paying the players. The colleges aren't paying those players. They're giving them scholarship, but there's millions and billions of dollars that are being bet on their play for Final Four, for bowl games and stuff like that in the football realm, and it's pretty the questions are very good as to how do you keep your players away from that, and the answer from the sports betting community is, well, if those players happen to throw a game because they're getting paid off by somebody else, they can take their professional career and throw it out the window. So they're jeopardizing. There's that's the threat. You're jeopardizing your career, your livelihood as a professional. Can we say the same thing for esport players? I suppose that you could, but then again, when you get to the esport level professionally, the pay isn't as much as mainstream sports. So there is an issue in regard to, college esports. But there is another factor that they're not really taking into consideration is the fact that it's technologically driven, that everything is got a timestamp and it's tracked, and they use artificial intelligence to track people's twitch rates, meaning the way that they work their controllers.
Wow.
From the time that they're when they start, and the way that they're using their keypads and their keystrokes, all of that is calculated and watched scientifically, tracked statistically, and what that allows the esport public to be aware of, and at least the betting and the bookies for esports, is to have a much better idea of whether or not that esport player on a college level, professional level, what have you, is throwing their match or throwing that tournament. So it's scientifically, you can't argue with the science, and that's an interesting point that I'm bringing up, because they're also doing things in mainstream sports where they're putting in sensors on bats and balls and things like that to track that as well, so that the bettor is much more or better educated as to all of the different movements that players are making. So if a player isn't swinging the bat the same way that he was, an injury or something like that, or is he straight up cheating? We don't know. So there is these things that they're trying to do in mainstream sports, but I really think that that's different, because if you're putting a sensor on a shoulder pads or on a football player's equipment or baseball player's equipment, there are still ways that player, because it's more of a physical type of sport, can really change those odds, even if it is being tracked, with sensors. When you're using a computer keypad or or you're using a controller, you're typing in and you're generating certain algorithms and speeds of twitch, speeds of your rates of how you're moving your hands and your fingers, and that's all calculated. So if they see that there's something that's odd or off, then that's all tracked. So that's how that, and as esports gets more popular, and there's more betting on it, that all of that can come into play. What I'm saying is that the science is already there, and actually mainstream sports has to catch up to what esports already has.
Now, like I said before, you're one of the creators of the Casino Esports Conference, which is now working in conjunction with the ICE North America Conference being held in Boston, Massachusetts, May 13th to the 15th. Can you tell us a little something about the conference?
Yes, ICE North America is it's really got a lot of things involved with it. We cover iGaming, sports betting, esports, and brick and mortar, technical overview of like what's going to happen for the future, what is the new casino, what is an integrated resort going to be, and also part of that conversation is esports. So my responsibility is, and the way we were placed into the situation was, as our partnership continues, and as we are partnered with the ICE North America and ICE events overall all over the world, our job for the Casino Esports Conference is to insert our educational tracks all about esports and discussing things like, the sports betting side of it and the esports betting side of it, and what is it that, the keystrokes and the tracking and who's doing this stuff, and, how do you get involved in, understanding the rules and the regulations of particular games, and how can you determine that somebody's cheating or not cheating? So it's all of these things that are involved in regards to esports, and how do you throw a tournament, and, what's the best way to throw a tournament, and how much is it going to cost you? And so all of the things of getting the casinos involved on every level is what the Casino Esports Conference does in our main event in September in Las Vegas. But throughout the year now, we will be inserting our educational tracks into ICE Clarion Gaming conferences.
I was reviewing your conference topics regarding the esports, and one of the things that jumped out at me, you're having a seminar how would a casino monetize an esports event? Right now, is that the big hurdle to the growth of the sport, showing casinos or other entities how they can make money using esports?
Well, I mean, casinos right now are, making more money on hospitality than anything else. And, 20 years ago, 70% of the revenue was coming from slot play, and now it's down to like somewhere around 40. So they need to make up revenue differences in other places. And as what they're being called now as integrated resorts, their offering of esports can take on many levels. It can be like a concert where people are coming and watching professionals play. It could be something of a sports book where they can have people come and bet on esports. And it can be something like a peer-to-peer type of environment where there's more socialized gaming and people playing against one another for money. So on an amateur level. So there's so many, areas of that they can start. And so the question on where or how a casino can monetize esports isn't a very difficult one to answer. But it's a matter of them just understanding what is it that they want to offer. Do they want to offer current games that are out there right now that are popular and people play? Or are they going to go and look for, their own esport type of games? And they're out there. So let's say it's not necessarily a Call of Duty game, but it's a, there's a guy I saw at the Game Developers Conference. It's called Mutant Football. So it's kind of like Madden, but the players look like big monsters. and it's kind of like a Madden football game, but it's pretty cool. It's a good game, but it's not Madden. So it's a kind of a takeoff on Madden, but it's, you can play with your friend, and it's not like the casino has to go to a major publisher like, Electronic Arts, like EA, to ask permission to use the Madden game. They can go to this local publisher or this local game developer who happens to be in Chicago, and ask him if they could use his game. And I'm sure he'd be happy to do it because, someone whose small-time business is creating competitive or socialized games would definitely be willing to offer and go through the hoops of regulating that game to be put on a casino floor. So there's so many games out there, from the ones that haven't been discovered to the ones that are actually being played today. And there's a lot of options that the casinos can do to introduce esports into their menu of things to do at their places. So yeah, I mean, that particular seminar is definitely very informative, and I think anybody who is running a casino, both an online casino and in brick and mortar, should really attend it.
You brought up something interesting, what a casino has to think about. I know the Luxor has actually built an area for esports. When it comes to how much space does a casino need to facilitate esports, do they have to set off a huge chunk of their property for esports, or can they do it in a relatively economical way when I'm using their gambling floor?
That's a good question. And many casinos, not all, but many have conference center areas that go empty on a daily basis. Just to section out a small area to begin it, like to just as like a sort of lounge. I mean, this is what the Downtown Grand did in Las Vegas. They have an area that is exclusively set up for esports. It's not big. It's across the street, but it's part of the same campus as the Downtown Grand, and it's a place where they have local tournaments, and that's how you start in this industry, in the esports industry. It's really, if you don't want to bite, you don't want to bite off more than you can chew. You start small.
Stick around. We'll be right back with more House of Cards. Everyone knows New Jersey has the best of everything. The best casinos, the best table games, the best slots, and now it has the best sportsbook. PointsBet.com. That's right, PointsBet has it all. Spread betting, moneyline betting, prop bets, you name it, you'll find it at PointsBet. And you can bet from anywhere in New Jersey using your mobile device. It's the only place with points betting where every point matters because every point pays. Now, PointsBet has one of the best sign-up offers in the state. Go to PointsBet.com and sign up using our promo code HOUSE. That's HOUSE, and you'll get a $50 bonus bet plus 2 risk-free bets up to $1,000. It's the preferred sports book of Allen Iverson and Darrelle Revis. They even have the Revis Betting Academy hosted by NFL great Darrelle Revis. So sign up today at PointsBet.com using our promo code HOUSE and start having some real fun. That's promo code HOUSE, HOUSE. PointsBet. Stay sharp. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Psst. Yeah, you. Come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore.
Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here. Use offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
You know, ever since the U.S. Supreme Court handed down its decision lifting the national ban on sports betting, the gambling landscape of the country is changing on a daily basis. So how do you keep up with all the latest news and developments? How do you know what each state is doing? You go to the one site that has all the information you need to stay ahead of the game, and that site is usbets.com. That's usbets.com. Written by the leading experts in the gambling industry, all you'll need is one visit to usbets.com and you'll see why it's the #1 gambling magazine in the USA. With usbets.com, you'll get up-to-date information on not just the sports betting scene, but also the latest news and notes on the entire gaming industry all across the country. It's not just one state, it's all of them in one spot. Stay in the loop and stay on top of your game. Get the latest news on sports betting and gambling from the country's #1 gambling magazine. Get on over to usbets.com. That's usbets.com.
You're listening to the House of Cards.
Whoa! I think we got a show.
Oh, yeah, we got a show.
We definitely got a show.
Oh, yeah, there's a show. Hey, it's all about ratings, baby, and we got them.
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishaupt with you here. For those of you just joining us, I am talking with Ari Fox, the creator of the Casino Esports Conference, which has teamed up with Clarion Gaming as part of the ICE North America Conference, being held in Boston, Massachusetts, May 13th to the 15th. Where do you see the future of esports in the next 5 years? Do you see it in more casinos? Do you see it more televised on more channels? What's the future for esports?
Well, it's funny because the communities or the people that watch esports are millennials and Gen Zers mostly. And the reason why I bring them up is because many of them don't watch TV. They don't watch channels or What they'll do is that most of the time, I would say 90% of the time, they're going to watch a match or something on Twitch or YouTube gaming or Facebook gaming. And they watch it on their computers or their iPads or something like that. What do I see as the future? I mean, I think esports is going to continue to grow. I think there's going to be new titles that come out and new games that come out. I mean, just in the last few years, we saw Fortnite came out, but that was a much older crowd. But then EA came out with Apex Legends, which is another game. So Apex Legends was similar to Fortnite in its, a battle royale type style, but it really got 25 million users within the first week. So it's a matter of, what's going to be the next thing. I see more virtual reality competitive play, and maybe if augmented reality, if there's a conceptual concept behind that, that's a possibility. But with virtual reality, or augmented reality, then we're moving more towards a mobile type of interplay where people can play other people in other locations. How does that help the casinos and the brick and mortar? Well, they are going to basically be, I think what you're looking at from the casino's perspective and esports perspective is in the next few years is it's going to have its own separate network. So when you go online right now, you can download, you can download Fortnite, you can download Apex Legends, and you can play on the internet through a server that is being watched by the publisher. AWS, which is an Amazon server, or some of the other server companies that house these games. But what the casino is going to have to do is they're going to have to house the games on their servers and regulate it themselves. So that's going to be, I think, the next step, so that they are watching their own play of players that come. So if you want to win money and play other players, you're going to have to come to a casino to play on their network, not on the World Wide Web network that's open to everybody.
Ari, remind the audience again where people can register for the ICE North America Conference being held in Boston, Massachusetts, May 13th through the 15th, and where people can go to find out about other upcoming events with the Casino Esports Conference and Clarion Gaming.
The North American ICE event can be found at icenorthamerica.com. And that's all one word. And you can register today for spots there. I think they still have some booth space available, but I think it's almost closed. So you might miss it after this interview. But you could probably still get passes. I'm sure you can get passes up until the day of the event, it's being held at the Boston Convention Center. The IGB Live. Then after that. Further beyond that, there's an IGB Live event in Amsterdam, which I will have also eSport tracks regarding that's being promoted and sponsored by the CEC. Beyond that is then the actual Casino Esport Expo, which will be held at the Luxor in Las Vegas. That can be found at casinoesport.com. No S with the eSport. So it's Casino Esport, CONF.com. And then in October, I think 2nd and 3rd of October, we will have ICE Africa, where we'll be holding an ICE event in Johannesburg, and the CEC will be there as well. So CEC is traveling the world. It's international. And with our partnership with Clarion, getting the entire global casino gaming community involved in esports and understanding it from every step of the way that it grows to be one of the biggest industries that we know of on the because esports, as we know, is entertainment and sports at the same time, which is fascinating. Never been seen before.
Ari Fox, executive with Fox Marketing and the creator of the Casino Esports Conference, now working with the ICE North American Conference being held in Boston, Massachusetts, May 13th to the 15th. Thanks so much for joining us and telling us all about the event.
Thank you so much for having me.
And that's all the time we have this week for House of Cards. See you next week.